Hey everyone, Frankenstein here, and today I'm doing a really quick recap of The Walking Dead Season 5 finale. So, if you want to hear my thoughts about what went down, please keep watching. Okay you guys, so Season 5, it has just finished, and the finale was meant to be an hour and a half, a 90-minute running time. It was not 90 minutes, but I guess I won't nitpick at that. I want to start off on a good note. So what I thought I'd do is just do a little bit of a rundown of the episode and my thoughts on it. So bear with me. Okay. So firstly, we see the return of Morgan, and it's kind of, I mean, it's not the return because we have seen him in a couple of previous episodes, but I felt like the finale episode was kind of the proper return of Morgan. And as it turns out, he is a Zen bow-wielding ninja. Where he learned those bow skills, I'm assuming, you know, being that it's his walking stick and he's been out in the woods, he's gonna have to come up with some sort of defense. So he has become very proficient with a bow staff. As we say at the start of the show, the wolves, one of the members of the wolves anyway, you know, confronts him and obviously tries to capture him and get him, but he doesn't. And I thought that was a really great way to start off the show. It kind of gives you, I guess it kind of gives you a sense of what the wolves are about. Up until now, you know, we don't know a whole lot about them, so I think it was a nice kind of little segue into what I'm assuming the start of season 6 will be about, and that being the wolves. So that was kind of cool. We also noticed that Morgan doesn't kill the wolves, he simply subdues them, and he leaves them in a car and beeps the horn. Now, when I first watched this, I assumed that he was leaving them there and beeping the horn was to attract the walkers, so the walkers would kill them. However, I watched Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick, and Lenny James, who plays Morgan, was on, and he said that, you know, with Morgan now, he's kind of at this place where, and as he mentions, he says all life is precious. And he mentioned that Morgan wasn't actually leaving them there to be killed. He was leaving them there to have a chance of surviving. So Morgan's in this very interesting place mentally at the moment. I mean, he's been by himself for so long now, and it's really interesting to see kind of where his character will go from here. And also, it's worth noting that when he comes across, which is a little bit further into the show, Daryl and Aaron, he happens to say that he's lost and he needs, you know, some directions. It's probably really lucky that he was lost, because otherwise, if he didn't, he wouldn't have saved Daryl and Aaron, who I will now talk about. So Aaron and Daryl, who I love their relationship at the moment too. They've got this kind of mutual respect for each other, and I really love it. I really love the character of Aaron. I didn't think I'd like him, but I really do. But anyway, so they're on a little scouting mission, and of course they fell into a trap set by the wolves. I find it very interesting that Daryl, who I would say is the consummate hunter, you know, if you noticed the trucks where the zombies were being held in, there was like hanging tins, as in to make noise, and I'm surprised that Daryl didn't pick it. It's like a zombie trap, I guess, and I'm surprised that Daryl didn't pick up on that. So that I found that very interesting. Of course, as I mentioned, they fall into a trap and walkers attack them, and they end up being stuck in a car. Not before, might I add, Daryl's super amazing 3-chain combo hit, which I thought was kind of awesome. It was really kind of, visually it was amazing. But I actually loved the scene with Daryl and Aaron in the car, because it just kind of, you know, reiterates what I mentioned before, in that they have this really nice budding friendship that's happening, and you know, they kind of bond over, you know, despite it maybe being Aaron's mistake, they bond over the fact that they're going to try and make a run for it, and they're going to do it together, and you know, that they've got each other's back. So I thought that was really nice. Of course, though, Morgan comes and saves them, and obviously he shows Daryl the map, and Daryl's like, oh, this guy knows Rick. So they take him back to Alexandria, but we'll get to that a bit later. Another moment I loved was Carol threatening Pete. Those of you who know me, I will know that I love Carol. She is just... like, okay, so comparing her to how she was in season 1 to how she's now in season 5, her character development has been amazing. It's just been, she has grown so much, and, you know, she's kind of gone from being a timid, you know, person who was, you know, suffered spousal abuse, to this warrior woman who threatens doctors with knives and brings them casseroles, and I loved it so much. Melissa McBride is just, she's such a great actor, and it was also really good seeing her on The Talking Dead, because you kind of got to go inside the mind of Carol, and we all know Carol's in this really scary place right now because she's like Scarol. I think, you know, she's really kind of come into her own, and she kind of understands that the way she looks, she can blend in, but she is so very deadly, and, you know, she's able to hide that well because of, you know, her physique and her manner. So she's a very, very clever girl. And of course, I guess we have to talk about Pete, aka Porch Dick. I love that, you know, height-wise as well with Carol, you know, he kind of looms over her. He's so very tall compared to her, and yet he cowers in the face of Carol. So I think it's kind of, I think it's a good indication of what both characters are like. And we'll get to Pete a little bit more later as well, because obviously something massive happens with him at the end. So I was really happy that Abraham and everybody's favorite mullet Eugene made up. I thought that was really sweet. The fact that, you know, he was a bit hesitant at first, but Abraham, you know, I mean, thanks to Rosita, but Abraham eventually kind of swallowed his pride and, you know, and spoke to Eugene, and they kind of sorted out their differences. And I like the character dynamic between those two, because they are such different people. And I think in a way they kind of need each other to work, you know. I think they kind of, I don't know, I want to say they kind of suit each other. Like they need to have that friendship. But I kind of secretly love Eugene, because I can't tell if he's unbelievably smart, or if he's just a special person. And I think his character is just so much more complex than what we really see, and I really, really love that. And I'm so glad Tara woke up too, because I actually really like her character. Alana Masterson, she's such a great actress, so I'm really glad that she came to towards the end. Oh my god, so Nicholas, the biggest dick ever, shot Glenn! What the hell? I mean, why? Why would you do that? I know you're a dick, but come on now, y'all. That's really sad. So I was expecting a major character to die, and I have heard how Glenn dies in the comic book, so I won't say it here in case some of you don't know. But I thought, as if they're gonna kill Glenn via shotgun. you know, by being shot rather. But I'm glad that well, I mean, as far as we know, at this very present point in time, he is still alive. So, and again, you know, he threatened to kill Nicholas, but he couldn't do it. And I think it kind of speaks a lot about Glenn's character. You know, as much as he has spent time in the wild and he has this, you know, this kind of instinct to survive, he still has an air of humanity about him, and you know, I think he's the type of person to think before he shoots, whereas Rick would, you know, I mean, if we're to compare, Rick would be kind of shoot first, think later. So I enjoyed that. I didn't enjoy that Glenn got shot. I'd rather Nicholas die, but whatever. Another interesting character to talk about is Sasha, who is slowly but surely losing her mind. I mean, we all saw that kind of iconic scene where she just lay down in the Walker pit, and it was almost like she was at peace. I think she feels... I don't think she feels responsible for what happened to Tyrese and Bob, but being that there were two people obviously so close to her, I think it's really hitting her hard, and I think she feels that despite being in the group, she has no one. And it's just getting harder and harder for her to exist in this post-apocalyptic world. She has a very interesting run-in with Father Gabriel, who is the biggest dickhead ever, and the sooner he dies, the better. He also is having some existential problems. You know, so we saw the scene where he walked out of Alexandria and you know, had those interactions with the zombies, and you know, then he cried, and then he came back and he cried, and he was mad and he cried, and I just want him to die. I mean, is it too much to ask? Just die. And it's funny because I've seen him and Seth, who plays Father Gabriel, on The Talking Dead, and he's just such a great person to listen to. But oh, how can you hate a character so much? You know, like, I despise him. Towards the end of the episode, we realized that Gabriel is acting the way he is because of the regret and the remorse that he's feeling for letting his I guess you'd call him his congregation or his family, you know, die at the hands of walkers. Of course, we see this scene, Maggie's holding the gun, not Maggie, sorry, Sasha is holding a gun at him, and you know, he's all wow, 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 you should kill me, blah, 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 and then Maggie comes in and saves the day, and I get it, sort of, why she stopped Sasha, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, just let her do it, just pop him one in the head, doesn't matter. But I think that perhaps the way that their scene ended, being that Sasha, Maggie and Father Gabriel were all seated in a circle and praying, I think that maybe Maggie might try and get through to him and help resolve his issues, or at least help him to confront his issues and address the issues with the group. So that might happen. I also found it really interesting that 3 characters in the show kind of shared the same dilemma, and those 3 characters being Sasha, Glenn and Rick. Obviously, they're all kind of faced with the probability, or the possibility rather, of, do I shoot this person? Do I kill this person because of what they've done? And I mean, in Rick's case, it's kind of, I guess he kind of did in the end, but we'll get to the Ricktatorship a little bit later. But with Sasha and Glenn, obviously, they didn't shoot Nicholas or Father Gabriel, even though we all kind of wish they did. Let's not lie. Why did they just not die? Die, die, die. Everyone would be happy. So, as I mentioned, the Ricktatorship is back in full force after that very moving speech that he gave at the meeting. And I love it. I love Crazy Rick. I love when Rick takes control. I love Rick. And I think that Andrew Lincoln should be commended for his portrayal of Rick Grimes because it's so amazing. He should win all the Golden Globes and Emmys and all that kind of stuff. I think he puts in such an amazing performance. You know, I think with a character like Rick, you have to really commit. And to me, you know, when Andrew Lincoln's there, or rather Rick Grimes is there giving those speeches, I really believe that Andrew is Rick. You know, that's just how convincing the performance is. I'm also glad that Rick kind of came clean with Michonne about the plan he had, or the lie he had with Carol and Daryl, being that they did take the guns from the armory. I like the dynamic between Rick and Michonne. I think they balance each other out, or rather Michonne kind of balances Rick out, you know, because we all know he's a bit cray and I want to say a bit highly strung, but she really kind of just, she levels him out, and I really like that. So I'm glad that he kind of admitted that you know, he had lied and he didn't want to lie anymore, and he just, you know, this is what was going down. So I like that. And I also loved the scene after the credits with Michonne, seeming as we're speaking about her, when she takes the katana, which is obviously being used, and she goes to clean it and goes to put it back on her wall, but then decides otherwise and slings it back onto her. And I'm like, oh, Michonne's back, that's so good. So did anyone notice that the wolves have a zombie disco? Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I actually really enjoyed that scene. It wasn't what I expected. Like I had no idea that, because I wondered, you know, like I figured that the wolves are they're kind of creating this zombie army. They're building this zombie army to kind of benefit their survival. So, you know, they will loot a person, you know, they'll take everything they want, and then they will, I guess, carve a W into the head and feed them to the zombies, turn them into zombie. And I guess they also use the zombie herd to attack others so they can benefit from what the other people have. I'm still a little bit uncertain with the wolves, but I'm looking forward to where the story's going, and maybe if Negan appears, that would be kind of cool. Because, like I said, I haven't read the comic books, but I have read enough to know who he is and know what he's about, but we'll see where it goes. And finally, because I guess everyone was kind of expecting that there would be a major death in this season finale, I don't know why we expected. I think Norman Reedus threw out a bit of a red herring by saying that we're all gonna need our tissues because it was gonna be a really super sad, intense episode. And as intense as it was, no major character died. So that's good. However, the two that did die was Reg, unfortunately, at the hands of drunk Pete, who had Michonne's katana, and he sliced his throat, and that was brutal, and I wasn't expecting it, and it was kind of shocking. And I loved the way that Deanna reacted. I loved that she was so sad and so upset, and I love that she just kind of looked at Rick and was like, Rick, do it. And I love that without hesitation he was just like boop, and he booped him right in the head, and Pete died, and everyone rejoiced. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the season finale of The Walking Dead. I thought it was really good. I don't really have any complaints. I'm glad no one, you know, major died. I like the way it's going. I really enjoyed season 5, actually. I thought it was a really good season. But yeah, now what do I do till the end of October? I mean, till October starts. What do I do? It's like months without Walking Dead, and I'm gonna be really sad. I guess we have the new series to look forward to, Fear the Walking Dead. That will be interesting. Apparently it addresses how the zombie outbreak started. And it'll be interesting to see how successful it is as well, because spin-off series, not always, you know, they don't always work out so good. But yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. I will give it a go, because anything Walking Dead I will check out. So, if you watched the season finale, let me know what your favourite bit was, or let me know the bits that you hated. Tell me who your favourite character is. Yeah, let's talk dead. Until next time, I am Nattie Frankenstein, and I will see you later.